Ever since the announcement of Super Mario RPG Remake, it has been one of my most anticipated games of this year. And now, we can really dive in and see how it compares to the original game. Nintendo has been generous enough to show us a handful of trailers of what we can expect of the game. And as a speedrunner of the original game, I want to do a deep dive on the remake and see what may translate into the new game. And before we get into the video, I just want to remind everybody that only 10% of you watching this video are subscribed. So let's bump those rookie numbers and click that subscribe icon and hit that bell. Let's get into it. So first off, I just want to really point out how faithful this game has been looking so far with the handful of trailers that we've been offered, the world map, the music. Everything is just panning out to be amazing. There are times when games get remade or remastered and it doesn't really deliver, but in this case, it's looking phenomenal. While it is a remake, I like to look at these as remaster 2.0s. And what I mean by that is that the graphics are being overhauled entirely, but the game itself, for the most part, is the same, but certain things here and there are either being tweaked or modified. For example, the combat. There's a little gauge on the left-hand corner, as you can see, that fills up as you do more timed attacks. That's 51%. It seems to give you the magic attack buff. This wasn't in the original, obviously, but it makes me wonder if that's just a really easy way to give your party buffs. And it seems to be. It seems to kind of reward the player for timing the attacks properly and then filling that gauge, get you easier access in combat. Now, one thing that is interesting to me is that when that gauge becomes 100%, you can do a triple tech. And this obviously reminds me of Chrono Trigger. Whether it's the optimal way to deal damage to bosses or enemies versus maybe keeping it 100% and then utilizing the buffs that they give you during combat is more optimal, I'm not really sure. But what I am curious of is what other triple techs are going to be available. For example, this triple tech, as I'm showing it in the video, shows Mario, Mallow, and Geno doing one. But that obviously opens up other possibilities for other party members. So, for example, Mario, Peach, Bowser, Mario, Peach, Geno. Will they all be different? I'm not really sure, but I'm obviously very looking forward to exploring all the possibilities of this game. What I mentioned before about perfect blocking is that was a mechanic in the old game. Whether or not it's going to be in the new game, I guess we'll have to find out for ourselves. But if any attack done by the enemy produces a star, then that means that you can block that accordingly. If it doesn't, then you just have to take the damage, and that's considered magic versus physical. What you could do in the original game is do a perfect guard, and what that is like a 3 or 4 frame window, and you can perfect guard it by properly timing it, and you will take 0 damage. Whether that's going to be in the new game or not, I just have no idea, but it really begs the question of how far are they going to go with keeping this game as faithful as it looks? And to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept everything in there, and they'll just added little things like the little gauge on the side to spice up the combat a little bit. As far as the graphics go, I love it. This is the ideal way to recreate the experience that you've had as a child in a modern setting. Keeping that kind of 2D style in a 3D environment kind of feel. It just looks great. I'm sure it'll feel great. The music is awesome. I heard that, you know, if you beat the game, you can experience the original OST. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, whether you can pick it right off the bat. I don't really know, but obviously in my very first playthrough, I'm going to experience the music in its original soundtrack for the remake, of course. The environments are also very intriguing to me too. While in the original game, they had blue kind of empty space to kind of fill the void for what wasn't able to be walked on and stuff, but here it seems to be an entirely fleshed out environment, and it's just looking so phenomenal. The aesthetics, the interactions in the game are just absolutely faithful. It's so satisfying to see that there is so much passion being put into this remake, and it's just recreating what we've already seen in a more modern experience. And I've had people in my Twitch chat ask me, what should I play first, the original or the remake? And obviously at this point it makes no difference, because you're going to get probably the exact same experience, the 10 out of 10 experience that you're going to get whether you play the OG or if you play the remake. Now, the thing that has me the most curious is if super jumps are going to be functioning the exact same way as they did in the original game. If you got 100 in a row, the game awards you the super suit in Monstro Town. The super suit is the most busted item in the entire game, and what makes it even more broken is the fact that anybody can wear it. It provides a number of stat boosts and immunities. Things like certain magic doesn't even work on you, and other sorts of insane things. And if you get 30 in a row, you get an attack scarf. Now only Mario can equip that, and it just boosts his attack by a significant amount. The thing about the super suit is that it's incredibly hard to get. And if anybody, what you watching, know about super jumps, is that there are very few people in the world that have probably even pulled this off. Getting 100 in a row is incredibly difficult, even for speedrunners like myself. In order to do the super jumps 100 in a row, what you must do is execute 87 3-frame windows in a row. And why I say that specific amount is because the super jumps, they function like this. On the very first one, it's a 60-frame window to land it, and each one after that, up until 13, the frame window halves, and then eventually it goes to 3. And then you have to go 3 frame, 3 frame, 3 frame, and it's incredibly hard. No matter who you are, no matter how good you are at the speedrun, the super jumps are the most difficult part of the entire game. Some people suspect because of the direction of what Nintendo's been doing, they've been making games easier. I don't think they will. I think they'll keep them in there and let the good players be good, let the bad players be bad. Some people think it's going to function much like Paper Mario, where the super jumps, they just have a cap. And sometimes in Paper Mario, it's actually RNG. But then, that would beg the question of, is the super suit even going to be in the game at that point? There's just so many questions. But I can't wait to find out the answers myself. Another thing too, is that in the original game, there were freebies. There was a certain percentage based on what item that you're using, and it would give you a refund of the item that you used. For example, fire bombs, ice bombs, rock candies, that sort of thing. Even really powerful items, the freebies would work on those too. And I didn't see the game ever giving the player a freebie in any of the trailers that Nintendo has provided us to watch. So hopefully those exist as well. But again, I have faith. I haven't seen anything that has disappointed me thus far, and I don't think I will. So I'm just going to assume that freebies will definitely be a part of this game. And guys, there you have it. That's my analysis and thoughts on Mario RPG Remake as of today. And I will be streaming that, obviously, live on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/KalebHart42. I would appreciate it if you guys aren't followed to that channel. You can follow that here. And I will be streaming that on release day, doing my casual playthrough, deep diving, and seeing what translates from the original to the remake and vice versa. So that's going to be a fun experience, and I can't wait to do it. And I hope everybody also has an incredible experience playing this miraculous remake. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.